Everybody, thank you so much for hanging on tight with us while we experience some technical difficulties. You know how it is. Semper Gumby for the theme for today. So thank you for joining us. My name is Lisa Kelly, and I'm the Director of Digital Media here at Fisher House Foundation. And I'm so excited to have Shay here with me. Shay has been at the foundation for 2 years now, running our Fisher Service Award program, and I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yes, thank you for the warm introduction. It's a excuse me, to be with all of you here today. I want to have fun today. So tomorrow is my birthday, so I want to give away a few items during the live. I was thinking 3 Fisher House Foundation swag bags, and then of course our partner Military Times Foundation would also like to give away 2 advertisement packages valued at 25K to 2 randomly selected nonprofits watching here today. This opportunity will allow for you to promote your nonprofit and or program on the Military Times, which has an 8 million plus monthly reader and site visitor analytics there. So I'm really excited for that. And quick disclaimer, if you are selected for the advertisement package, we will perform a digital footprint review before connecting you with the Military Times. Okay?
So exciting. I'm so
Great.
excited. What a great prize.
I'm excited. And before we even get going, I know there are a couple of people coming and joining us. So, to just jump right into the thing, like before we even start answering questions, I think we should give away a swag bag. So, I don't
Love it.
know who's watching, but while you guys find a name and we get settled, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. So, the Military Times has something called their Small Business Spotlight. And what they do is they provide free ad listings for veteran owned businesses because their mission is to honor, support, and remember service members, veterans, their families, and organizations that help them. And so while you're looking for that name, we'd like to give a huge shout out to Ms. Kelly Facer, who has been super, super supportive of this program. She's just a phenomenal person. So we want to say thank you. So, Lisa, do you have a name for us?
I am working on it. Just give me a second. Oh, gotta love these technical issues. Let me just double check here. I see there's so many comments coming in. We have Lucy Jackson Thakral. I hope I said that right. Lucy, if you can send Rachel Hill, who's in the comments and monitoring for us, if you could send her a message with your email address and mailing address, we can get that swag to you.
Awesome.
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 Congratulations,
Awesome.
Lucy.
Congratulations.
Yay. Awesome. So let's get started with, learning more about the program. What is the Fisher Service Award?
Thank you for asking. So, Fisher House Foundation and Military Times Foundation partnered to create the Fisher Service Award, which was formerly known as the Newman's Own Award. This award program recognizes nonprofits with innovative programs improving the quality of life for active duty reserve, National Guard veterans, and their families. Since the program began in 1999, it's distributed more than $3 million across 205 nonprofit programs. And this year, we will award a total of $250,000 to be divided among the top applying nonprofits. And in addition to that, each award winner will also receive an advertisement package valued at $50,000 from the Military Times.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm seeing lots of questions coming in right now. People want to know who can apply and what are the eligibility criteria for this program?
Okay, great question. So we have 3 requirements. Number one, your organization must be defined as a 501c nonprofit. Number two, you must have an innovative program. And number three, that program must improve the quality of life for active duty reserve, National Guard veterans, and or their families. Last year, we received over 450 eligible applications. So if you meet those 3 requirements, we strongly, strongly encourage you to apply.
That's amazing. That's a huge amount. That's a huge amount of help that's going out there to military families. So I love that. What are your funding priorities for the year?
Okay, thank you for asking this because I receive this question almost every day. It's important to note that we do not have any specific funding priorities, and there are no themes across our winning programs. Each year is different, and it's based upon the competitive application submitted that cycle.
Nice. Well, are there any restrictions on how the funds can be used?
Very, very good question. So, in past years, we had restrictions on how funds could be used, but last year we lifted many of those restrictions. So, award funding may be used to execute any necessary program expense. This includes wages, salaries, supplies,
Oh,
capital campaigns, building repairs. I'm thinking professional fees. And an example of professional fees are like mental health counselors or physical therapists, etc.
oh, that's wonderful,
And
especially for those in the
if you
nonprofit.
don't mind,
Yeah.
I'm hoping there are people on, but let's pause
Yes.
here,
Okay.
because I think that it's important for us to award our first Military Times advertisement package, which is valued at $25,000. So, if you guys could, can you please share your name, organization in the comments below so we can see who's here joining us this afternoon? And while Lisa works on selecting that organization, I want to share with you that if your organization has more than one eligible program, we encourage you to submit multiple applications. But please note
Oh,
that with each submission, it must have its own unique email address and login credentials. So, Lisa, I hope those comments are moving. Do we have
great.
our
Yes,
first
they are.
nonprofit?
Let me here. Apparently, we're a little slow out here in Richmond with the internet right now, but yes, we have a winner coming. Let's see here. Who do we have? It's coming. It's
I'm excited.
anticipation. I know. Oh, we have Morgan Bryan from the Travis Manion Foundation. That's
Yay,
amazing.
Morgan! That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that just
Love
made
it.
my day.
Yeah. So Morgan, if you can send your information to Rachel, she will be able to get all of that information to you. All right. So we just got another question. I think it's great. So I'm not a grant writer. Is there an application? Is the application challenging to complete? Would it be easy for someone like me?
Oh my goodness. First, let me start off by saying you do not need to be a professional grant writer to apply. This application is very, very simple, straightforward, and it's broken into three sections. So the first section is organization, second is program, and then the third is the budget. Okay. So in that first section, it focuses on general questions about your organization, such as your URL, your mission statement, and this year it will verify that you guys are, in fact, a 501c. Okay. And while we're on the subject of 501cs, I want to back up a little bit because this program is not limited to 501c3s specifically. Okay. So we
Oh,
welcome all 501cs, one through, I believe there are 29, I think.
what?
Don't quote me on that.
I
Um,
did not know that.
yeah, so as long as your organization starts off with 501c, right? Any number after that makes you eligible for that, okay? And then in the second section, which is the program section, it really dives into the program details. So we're going to ask if you've already initiated the program, and if so, when it began. And then we are going to ask you to pick a category that describes your program's focus. And then we're going to get into the details of the program. And then the third is going to be the budget section, which asks you to complete and upload a simple budget to help explain how your organization, if selected, would utilize those funds. And in this section, we also ask about your donors. I want to clear this up. If you are
Oh,
not comfortable sharing information on your donors, please feel free to list the gift amount, but then list that as anonymous. And just last tip, because I'm like thinking of all the questions I get all the time.
yeah.
With that said, the amount of funding that your organization or program receives, that will not be a factor in your program being selected. Again, our only focus is innovation.
I love that. I mean, speaking of tips, are there any common mistakes that people make on the applications?
Oh, yes. Okay. So I would say the number one mistake is not being clear and concise on why your program is innovative. Again, we recognize that there are a lot of programs with similar missions, but what makes yours different? The second, I think, thing that people often forget is adding attachments to enhance their application. This year, we're going to ask upfront for you guys to submit your 990 and your W-9. But what we're looking for when reviewing your application is infographics, photos of your program and action and testimonials. So please take advantage of that. You can attach up to 3 supporting documents. A side note though, we cannot accept anything emailed separately, nor can it be mailed. It all must be uploaded into the application portal.
That makes sense. Another great question in the chat. Can somebody apply if their program has not been created just yet?
Absolutely. So if you have a wonderful, wonderful idea, right, and it's innovative, but it has a future start date, you are still eligible for funding. But please be clear in your description of what makes your program different than other similar programs, and note that your program must be executable by March 21st, 2025. So you have 1 year to get that program up and running.
That makes sense. Um, how, I don't know if you want me to throw some questions at you. We've got coming in
Ready?
through the chat. Um, do you give preference to new programs the organization is offering or established? Well, you just answered that. You don't, it's not necessarily has to be established program. It can be a new program, absolutely, or a program that's not even started yet. So there you go.
Correct.
How
It's
are the,
innovation.
yes, as long as it's innovative, I love that. We've had some really incredibly unique things come through. So I love that. How are winners selected?
Good question. So award recipients are selected by an esteemed judging panel based upon the program's innovation, right? So innovation is the key word for this program. So judges evaluate the programs based upon a few things. The program's description, right? Is it clearly written and easy to understand? 2, the program's innovation. What makes this program different from others out there? Resources. Is this program executable? And then relevance. Is this program filling a much needed gap? Just for the record, because I get this question all the time, we do not have a set number of winners each year. So, for example, we've had 5 winners for the last 3 years, but in 2020, we actually had 6. So, we really truly leave it up to the judging panel to decide which programs and should move forward and how much funding they should receive as well.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
yeah, I do. And Lisa, while we're kind of in the mix of all this, I think we should give away another swag bag. Okay.
Oh,
How do you feel about that?
absolutely. I love it.
Okay, good. And while Lisa tries to find someone, I want to share with you guys the timeline of the award cycle because I do get this question a lot. So, once applications close in March, we immediately begin the judging process. And by mid August, we will have our award recipients identified. At that point, all applicants will receive a notification from me, and I will then reach out to the award recipients to arrange their travel to DC, well, to the Washington,
Right.
D.C. area for our ceremony in late October, where they will be publicly announced. But please note, okay, we are not able to provide feedback on submissions. But I am happy to schedule a time to chat with you and answer any questions that you may have regarding the application process. And if you would like to like chat about that, I'm going to give you my email now. It's going to be spencer-watson at fisherhouse.org. I actually thought it was a really good idea to hyphenate my name when I got married, not realizing how long my name would be. So,
Love it.
just, feel free to reach out to me. And if you guys have reached out and I've talked to you, put your names in the chat. We want to see you here today. And Lisa, do we have that second name for our
We
swag bag winner?
do. We have Robert York. So Robert,
Hey.
congratulations. So if you can send Rachel Hill a message with your email and mailing address, we could get that swag sent to you. And I just have to say, I have to give you props because you make yourself so available to everybody who's applying. And I think you do such a great job of helping everybody out and just making sure everybody feels comfortable when they're applying, which is amazing. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So, okay, if somebody's applied in previous years, can they still use the same login credentials and can they apply again?
Okay, thank you for asking. Whoever asked this question, thank you for asking. So, no, each year you must create a new account. And this is because each year we actually wipe that application portal clean. So oftentimes when applicants are going back in, they're going to press that forgot password button, okay, to retrieve
Yep.
their information. You're going to receive an error every single time. There's nothing in there, okay? So I will let you know though, you can register using the same email address that you have used in past years. So please feel free to do that.
I love that. Yeah. So if my organization does apply each year, but we're never selected and people feel a bit discouraged, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Please don't be discouraged, okay? Each year it's different. So based upon
Yeah.
the competitiveness of those applications that are submitted, it's going to be different. So I'm going to give you an example. Last year, what year is it? 2024. So in 2023, Dream Foundation was one of our award winners, right? They have a phenomenal
Yeah.
mission, wonderful program, but they didn't make it past the top 50 last year, right? So
Oh, wow.
it's one of those things that I'm going to encourage you to apply each and every year because one of these years you're going to come out on top because our
Yeah.
judges will see the great work that you're doing.
I love
If possible, I promise y'all, I would make all of you Fisher Service Award winners because I appreciate all the work that you do for the military community. And I will tell you, as an Army veteran, it truly, truly means a lot to see all the work that you're doing. So please don't be discouraged and please continue to apply.
100%. I mean, the things that people are doing out there is truly amazing. So,
Yeah.
what commitments, if any, will the award recipients have after the ceremony?
Okay, this is a really good question, and I'm glad this is being asked. So, all award recipients must submit a 6-month and 12-month budget narrative detailing how their funding will be expended. So, on top of that, let me say this award recipients will also have to provide a video update with photos of their program in action that will also be shared on multiple platforms across for us to kind of advertise for that next judging cycle. And I will tell you, one of the great things about this is us being able to share with the community all of the great work that you guys have accomplished over that 6 and 12 month period. So that will be the only thing I will say is a requirement. And then, of course, you're going to be a part of the Fisher House family. So unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with me for a little bit longer. I'm going to call and check on you and make sure that you don't need anything or how we can be of service to you. So that is the only commitment. And let's see, how are we doing on time? Are we good, Lisa?
We are looking good.
Okay, good. So let's go away a swag bag. I'm ready.
All
Do
right, let's do
you
it.
do you have anyone?
I am
Oh, you're looking
working. Well,
for so
while we're working on it, I do have some questions rolling in.
okay, I'm ready.
Um, let's say in the application, it asks to list locations and venues. If they have more than one location, um, then the word limitation will allow. Can you indicate the locations in in the supporting documents that they attach?
Please. So if you are running into an issue where you have multiple sites and you're wanting to tell what each site does or they're maybe unique, please, 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 that's when you're going to jump into using that attachment feature, right? And go ahead and list out. Though you can attach up to 3 attachments that can be up to 10 pages each, okay? So make
Oh,
sure you're
wow.
taking advantage of that so that we're getting all the information possible. Something that I will kind of do a side note on that because it had me kind of think of another organization. I have an organization that just called me yesterday that have multiple sites, and each site has a unique mission at each location.
Oh,
Well, those are all different programs, and those can all
great.
be eligible, programs that you can submit an application for. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're looking at your programs and what you know what I mean, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And while I'm thinking of it, I want to take a moment because some of our judges they're watching. So I want to take a moment
Yeah.
to thank our incredible judging panel. We want to say thank you for all that you do for this program and Fisher House Foundation. And for the back end, and I'll share photos if you guys want later, but our judges receive what I call like Harry Potter books.
Oh,
Okay.
they're
They
huge.
are huge books that they go
Binders,
through.
yep.
They're binders. And I mean, I weighed one and I think they're like 12 pounds. And they're toting these things around all summer to help support this program. So I just want to say thank you to all of you because without you, it just would not be possible. So do we have a name?
We do. Melinda Keenan, come on down. All right, Melinda. So if you send your information to Rachel Hill, she will be sure to get that swag bag out to you.
Yay, congratulations.
Yay. All right, so we're coming up on today's leap day. So we're coming up on the March. When do the applications close?
Okay. So applications must be submitted online by 8:59 p.m. Eastern Time on March 21st. Okay. There will
Okay.
be no extensions or exceptions to that. You can
Yeah.
return and modify your application anytime before the system closes down. Okay. So all you would do is go to the application portal, log onto your account, go over to the review tab at the very top, and then scroll down to the bottom, and you will see a little button that says reopen, and then you can make the changes that are necessary and then just resubmit your application. Again, I want to let you guys know the only way to submit the application is online. You cannot mail in hard copies. I've gotten a few this cycle, so
Oh, wow.
I appreciate it, but again, I'm gonna send you back online, okay? But if you need any support, again, please feel free to give me an email. Send me an email, excuse
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. So we have another great question in the chat coming in. When will recipients receive funding if they are chosen?
I love that. They're like, when am I going to get my
Where's
money?
my money?
Yes. Funds are actually distributed in person at the award ceremony in late October. So when our award recipients arrive to the DC area, we go through the ceremony. And as soon as that ceremony is over, they're coming to me for their check. So they actually leave with a physical check after the
Wow,
ceremony.
that's great. Another question. So my program will take place on a DoD installation. Am I still eligible?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, yes, yes. Now, with that being said, you will be asked to present documentation that your programs are approved for operation on a Department of Defense installation by the installation commander or the commander's designee. Okay, so that's the only thing, but absolutely, yes, you are eligible.
Yes. And is there a time frame that the funds need to be used? We've got another questions coming in. Oh, I said,
I love that. So
okay.
the answer to that question is kind of. Because what will happen is at the 6 month mark, we will ask for an update on how the funds are being used. And at the 12-month mark, we'll ask how those funds are being used. I have had an organization that were at the 12-month mark still in the process of utilizing those funds. So as long as we're seeing those funds go towards the program and to the benefit of that program, then we try to once we give the funding, stay involved, but we allow, it's the trust thing, right? It goes back to what
Right.
we believe in Fisher House, right? We do deals with handshakes. So we're trusting that when
Absolutely.
those funds are distributed, that you're doing the right thing.
I love that. We've got a few more questions, if you don't mind,
I
coming
got
in.
all the time.
Um, is there in the application process, is there an opportunity to link to videos?
Yes, there are. Great question, whoever asked that.
Yes.
So yes, there is a section that will say URLs. And
Okay.
I always tell people, they don't have to be productions, right? You can
No.
film. We had an award winner that had their cell phone and just, spoke from their heart and then just uploaded it on YouTube and then linked from YouTube, right? It doesn't have to, you don't have to, I know a lot of you, the organizations watching are smaller organizations. So please don't feel like you need to go hire like a production company to get this done. Honestly, just sit and speak from your heart, and I think that will go a long way.
100%. I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Are you looking for question about organizations that partner with other organizations when they apply for the grant?
Like, will that give them like a leg up?
I'm
Maybe is
not
that what?
sure.
So, I think that when nonprofits can come together, that's a beautiful thing, right? But
Yeah.
again, the focus of this program is innovation. So, as long as whatever program you guys are submitting, as long as it's an innovative program that's filling a gap, or meeting a need, I guess should be better said, then, I think that you'll have a really great shot of getting pretty far in this program.
Okay, so we know that this question comes up a lot when we talk about, because we say the word over and over again with innovation, right? What How do you define innovation? What is something that's, is it something that's never been done, or something that just distinguishes you from other programs that have a sort of a similar mission?
I would say the latter. So we try to keep that vague on purpose, right? But
Right.
there are a lot of organizations with very similar missions, right? But what makes yours different? There's a little something that you're doing that makes yours different. And as long as you have like the secret sauce, right, that you're adding on to your program, then that
Yeah.
makes it innovative. And we want to hear and see about these programs. One of the things that I will tell you is I keep binders. Oh my gosh, it drives my family crazy, but I keep binders of all of these programs. Every time, every single cycle, I have binders everywhere. And when someone calls Fisher House needing support, I
Hmm.
refer back to that binder. And many of you have received phone calls from me trying to connect someone in need to your organization. So don't get caught up on the innovative piece. All the work you're doing is wonderful and beautiful, and we want to see them. So don't let that deter you. Please, please, please submit an application.
I love that. Yeah. Let's see. Those are the biggest questions were about the innovation.
Okay.
And then let's see, the last one. Are there any big tips? Any big tips you have when somebody is submitting an application to help them get seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, this is going to sound kind of silly, but proofread your application, okay? Your programs are going before judges who will review and learn about many of your programs for the first time. So you want to put your best foot forward. I can't tell you how many times I get applications that I can't even read them because I don't know what they're saying, right? The second thing I would say is clearly and be clear and concise when you're answering these questions, keeping in mind that we are looking for innovative programs, right? I hate to use this phrase because my dad says it, but it's like kind of land your plane. And in addition to that, don't be humble. You guys are doing great work. Talk about the great work you're doing. I had an application I read that I actually sent them a note just yesterday, and I said, absolutely not. Like, they were like, we do X, Y, and Z, but it's not that big of a deal. No, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And what you're doing is changing lives. So don't be afraid in your application to brag about the great work you're doing. The third thing I would say that people often do is they do not provide attachments. Okay. Yes, we're reading your application, but those attachments help us better understand your program. We are looking for information that will help paint the picture of innovation, especially for our judges. Fourth, I cannot forget this. When you all, which I hope all of you reach the top 15, but I know you won't, but when you're in the judging process, do two things for me, okay? Please add my email address, sspencer-watson at fisherhouse.org, to your contact list because I
Mm.
may require additional information from you and it's time sensitive. So if we're not able to get in contact with you because my email went to a spam folder, then unfortunately an opportunity can be missed, and we really don't want that for you. And then last but not least, please, 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 please do not wait until the last minute to submit your application. Okay. I
Yeah.
am going through the system, and I am doing little reviews and checks just to make sure that everything looks okay. And so, if you wait till the last minute or until we receive too many applications, you're not able to really get that white glove service that I try to provide to all of you. So just please get your applications in as soon as possible. And if you want me to take a quick look at it just to make sure everything is okay, send me a note and say, hey, Shay, just submitted this. Can you look at it for me? And I will be happy to.
I love that. So can they include links in the attachments, or is it just the link in one thing as a
Whoever asked
answer,
that
right?
is a very clever, clever
Yes.
person. So yes, that is
Oh,
exactly what I
perfect.
would do if I was submitting an application. So if you find yourself in the URL section running out of space, you want to maybe share a little bit more, in those attachments, add a URL. So what I'm going to be doing this
Perfect.
year, which is going to be a little different from I think years before, is I'm providing our judges not only paper binders but digital binders, so that then they
Oh,
can
wow.
just click and access those links. So please, that is a very clever way to get more videos in and more information in. So that was a very, very good question.
I think that, like you were saying, the videos and the photos, they really just put a different touch on it than just sometimes just reading the words.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, let's see. We have questions, so many questions coming in. How do we choose the judges?
Oh, what a good question. So, well, that was a very good question. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever had that before, actually.
right.
So our judging panel is all just about all of the Joint Chiefs spouses. So they come in, they are on the front lines. They know exactly what they've gone through and what they're seeing their peers and other folks what they need. So they're on the front lines, and so they really are the best line of defense of knowing what programs are needing to get out there and what programs we need to support. So last year we had 11 judges, all that are senior spouses. And this year I hope to have 11 more. So we will just continue to build on that. And if you guys are curious about that, send me a note and I can provide more information on our judging panel.
Yeah, we've got a few interesting that there's several questions about the judges this year. I've never seen the questions about the judges before. Um, which is
Oh,
exciting. I mean, I've seen some of these spouses with their big binders in their purses, and yeah.
and one of the things that I will say is this, our judges, obviously, I mean, it's no secret, right? As the Joint Chiefs spout, as they transition and move, we get new judges in, hopefully, and we're always trying to have each service branch represented. And why I'm always encouraging you guys to apply, even if you don't make it, is because as we get new judges, right, we're going to get different eyes and different views and different outlooks. We have a wonderful judge who is supportive of gamers, right? Programs that are focused on gaming because she herself is a gamer, right? So, you're just seeing all of these wonderful ideas come together, and it really just makes for a very diverse judging panel.
I love that. Now, there's one more question that's been asked a few times, but I might try and answer it if it's okay, only because it has to do with communications a little bit. So somebody's asking about, sometimes their work is one and done, and it's between volunteer coaches and a candidate over video conferencing. And sometimes people are quite nervous about sharing photos or sharing videos, and that can be a challenge, which, you know, we all kind of deal with that in some ways. We have a lot of people when they're staying at the Fisher House, it's a really hard time at that moment. So
Yeah.
we definitely, we never try and ask people that are staying in the Fisher houses necessarily to share it right then and there. Sometimes one of the things that you can do is maybe get some of their testimonials and share it over just a generic photo, or just sharing that testimonial. Then they don't have to put any personal information in there. They don't have to put anything that identifies them or calls out anything that's going on with them, but then you still get the impact that your program is making.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but I thought that was really interesting. Sometimes they don't necessarily want to have their photo or their videos on there.
You know what I would say, the bit of advice, because I've had a few programs in the past. Actually, one of our award recipients last year, this was a issue we ran into just because of the nature of their program. If you're unable to get photos of your program in action, then you get in front of the camera and talk about in a
Yes,
heartfelt way what your program is and how it's impacting those, and share what you can share, because it's really important. These applications are great, but it's really important for us to hear from you, sometimes to really get an understanding of your program. So if you're unable to share those details, feel free, jump in front of a camera and speak on their behalf and kind of advocate for how your program has helped them.
I love that. Well, seem like all the questions, I
Wait.
think,
I don't
right?
think we gave away all of our we have one more advertisement package to give away. That's what it was.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
so if you can, in the chat, please share your name, organization in the comments. I want to see who's still with us. Put some stars, put some something so that we can see you. And then I actually feel like, are you guys have a name? Someone just sent me a question.
We
Sorry, I
are,
was reading and can't multitask.
that's good. We are working, working on it. My internet is still.
Oh, I see the question. Okay, so someone just shot me a note. Guys, people are
Mhm.
texting me. I'm on live. I can't look at my phone. I can't do
People are
both.
texting you for the questions because
I'm
my
sorry.
lag time.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so I understand the question now. Okay. So we have a previous award winner that wanted to know if we've won in the past, can we win again? And the answer is yes. Again, innovation, innovation, innovation. If you have won in the past and you've made a small tweak to your program, please feel free to submit another application. Okay. We would love that. So I hope that answers your question. Don't text me back, put it in the chat because I can't focus. But
I
that would
love
be
it.
great. Do you guys have an organization
We
for us?
do. We have Donnell Johns Sr. from the Veteran and Military Spouse, or he's a veteran and military spouse advocate. Yeah.
Yay! Congratulations, Donnell. That's awesome. So again, and people are emailing me questions, but what I will say is, again, just to reiterate, I know I said it at the beginning of the live, just in case someone came on late. If you want an advertisement package, please note we will be doing a quick digital footprint review so that we can make sure everything's good before we pass you on to the Military Times, number one. And if you want a swag bag today, Miss Rachel Hill is in the comments. Please, if you haven't already, shoot her a message so that we can get in contact with you. I'm going to need your name, your email, and your mailing address. Okay.
Yeah, and for everybody who is not able to join us, or if you're watching kind of for a friend or something, just know that we will be putting this on YouTube today, hopefully.
Today. Okay.
Hopefully today, depending on how technology decides to be my friend. But thank you guys so much for watching today. Thank you so much for joining us and kind of hanging in tight while we dealt with technical and social media issues that always pop up. But again, if somebody missed it, we'll be on the Fisher House YouTube channel and we'll be answering questions in the chat throughout the day in case we missed anybody. So, and then you can always, again, feel free to email Shay any of your other questions. And if you know of a 501c that is doing outstanding work in the military community, please tag them below and encourage them to apply.
Yes, please, please, please. That's so important. And if you don't feel comfortable, say, reaching out to a nonprofit, letting them know about this program, shoot me an email and I will do that for you. So I know a lot of people that want to share the word, they just don't know how to start that conversation. So shoot me the name of the organization and I will do all the hard work in contacting them. And also, I'm going to ask you guys a huge favor. Please, please, please share this live and get the word out about this program. We want to reach as many organizations and programs as possible. So many of you are doing magnificent work in our military community, and Fisher House Foundation and Military Times Foundation would like to recognize and celebrate you. So if there was a question that wasn't covered, please email me once this live concludes. People are texting me questions as I speak. Don't text, email me. Again, my email is sspencer-watson@fisherhouse.org. And so I am off to enjoy my birthday tomorrow.
Yay,
But,
happy birthday.
but I hope that you guys enjoyed the live. And again, we're
Yes.
here to help in any way that we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, I think it's, yeah, okay, the live part is done.
I'm not moving until you tell me to move.